What's up guys? So today's gonna be another video. I do apologize for not releasing this video on Monday or Sunday. Took a day off on Saturday, which is the 4th of July, and I was gonna crank out a video on Sunday, but I woke up late and I was gonna schedule to release a video on Monday, but the video was shit, so I just wanted to redo it. Anyways, sorry for the long intro. Today's video is gonna be about the current meta and what I've been seeing, right? If you are a new player or you're a returning player, these are the current units that you want to aim for and unlock. If you have them, this is the units you want to use, right? As always, we're gonna watch a background footage of my rank gameplay here, but yeah, let's just get on with it. So the first character that we're gonna be talking about is going to be the Claymores. Now the Claymore is the most prio unit that you want to aim for and use. They have been absolutely wrecking a lot of other units on the field, and they've been trading, especially in the purple era. In terms of them against queens, I think queens is gonna take them. So when gold units come out, right, they should be killing Claymores, but the Claymores still wreck almost every unit that is currently meta, and they're OP currently because every time these units hit, they have their defenses that stack up 5 times, right? So their defense is increased to at least 200, and that is one of the reasons why they're strong. The other thing that makes them really strong is every time they use their 1 or 2 ability, they get an effect called the Fearless Heart, which is their passive, right? And for 5 seconds, they receive 10% damage reduction, and they restore HP that stacks up 5 times. And every attack restores HP, which is 150, but it stacks up 5 times, which is 750 in total. Meaning every time they hit, they would heal that amount. And if you use your 3 ability, it's double, which is pretty crazy. They also synergize with bagpipes, so if you have homies that have bagpipes, you can bring them in and it would make your units strong, really strong. One of the trade-off with this unit is after using their 3 ability for 15 seconds, they're going to have an exhaustion period, which would make them a lot more weaker. So then that's the best time for you to execute them. But if I'm being honest with you, by the time they trade, they would be clearing the board pretty fast before anything even hits them. And the best way to counter this unit would be a range here. Their 1 ability is a charge, their 2 abilities an AoE cleave, and their 3 ability is a buff that gives them their next ability a higher damage reduction, a 30% movement speed, 20% increase in damage, and a 2000 max health, right? And they're immune to like daze and stuff like that. So normally people just use their 3 ability and hit their 2 and they just cleave everything in front of them. That's why they're able to trade. I think these are one of the best trading units currently in the meta. If you have these units, you'll be getting a lot of unit kills, I guarantee you. And they normally trade a lot of the other units that we're going to be talking about. But in order to counter the Claymores, you have to play with a meta range like Galahads or Kree's Rats or like other ones that works, right? And you would know as you play trial and error. But anyways, we're gonna go on. The next one is going to be the Berserkers. Now the Berserkers are really strong right now in the current meta because they can hit the back line and they're really good at flank. If done correctly, if you spam 2 all the time, they would have a high damage reduction and they would completely demolish the field because their DR stacks up to 10 times. And Berserkers are the best units to counter against Yorks. Now the reason why people stop playing Yorks because they saw a lot of Berserkers. During like close to the end of Echoes, you'll start seeing people not play Yorks, then people were playing Berserkers because every time people brought Yorks, they were getting demolished by the Berserkers. And the reason why was because the Berserkers take less damage from the Yorks and they heal 5% max HP every time they swing and hit a York. So unless the York is completely super tuned and over tuned, which they're not anymore, right? They're nerfed. They're not going to out trade against healing Berserkers. So if you guys have a problem with Yorks and you see a lot of Yorks, just bring out the Berserkers and they would be fine. How people play the Berserkers is they are a rage spending unit. So they have to hit to get rage. Every time they use an ability, right, like their 2 or 1 ability or 3 ability, they get a damage reduction. Once your Berserkers have max rage, you would use your 3 ability, but I don't recommend that unless you are higher favor in a blob. So if your team has the higher blob, that's when you would want to use the 3 ability. If you charge your Berserkers into a blob and you hit your 3 ability, they're going to take 35% more damage. Even if you primed them, right, you set them up with your 1 or 2 ability to get damage reduction, your 3 ability will just suicide your Berserkers, which you don't want. So what you really want to do is hit 2, 1, 2, and then you want to spam 2 all the way until you are in favor of the blob, then you hit 3. I paired the Berserkers with a Aegis Doctrine, so then they can have CC immunity as I have high damage reductions. And they're really nice. In my video, I'll show you you'll slam them. Stalwarts, you never want to slam Stalwarts. Don't slam Stalwarts from the front, never do that. Pikes and Halberds, anything that's Pikes and Halberds related, they'll wreck your shit. Even blue Halberds, if they're tuned correctly, they would kill your fucking Berserkers. So be careful when you slam your Berserkers. Berserkers will kill the range if you are able to flank them. And at the same time, if you see IPGs, don't run into IPGs. IPGs will absolutely eat your shit as a Berserker. And talking about the next one is gonna be IPGs. Pause. Before we continue for the rest of the video, here is a code for every player. I think it should work for every player. I had a couple of people test it and I thought it was only for new players and returning players, but every player gets it and you get 100 unit medals. So just use it, you know, for your EXP if you're trying to build one of these units. And you also get a purple era unit, which if you don't have any of the other meta units, just go and get them, right? Make sure you get one of these units that I recommend, so then you can make your farming easier. If you're in the beginning levels, you'll be fighting against bots. Other than that, I don't want to ramble in a promo code for you guys to use. So yeah, let's continue. Unpause. So the next one we're going to talk about is the IPGs. Now, I am not an IPG main. If you're going IPGs, you want to go top tree and whatever is on bottom tree. If you have the charge doctrine, that's really nice to position into the advance. You also want to have the advanced CD by 7 seconds, so you could have it a lot more spammy. You don't want to make them hit the front line. If you have friends who are stalwarts, you want to IPG walk and have the stalwarts, which is your friend, come in and protect your IPGs. And then you hit their mastery. Their mastery gives them, during your IPG walk, which is advanced, you can hit another ability that would end your advanced walk, and then they would strike enemies. They would strike whoever's close to them, and they would do damage based on how much damage you dished out during the advanced walk. And every unit you kill during that loyalty strike, it would shorten the CD of your advance, meaning you could probably hit more advances faster. And that's exactly what people do. That's why you see people, they'll walk and then you're like, oh, why did he get to walk again? That's why people is able to walk twice. Advance is really good. You get to slam. Anytime you see IPGs, your goal, if you're playing IPGs, is to hit anything that is the Claymores. Claymores might win a trade, if I'm being honest, but if you could bait out the Claymores for freedom and AoE cleave, you could kill them with the IPG walk. If you see Berserkers, you instantly kill Berserkers. Instantly kill them. They just fucking disappear because they're so low unit count. And remember, you're hitting them with 28 different hitboxes, right? And then because they hit a +1, they also hit an additional. So that's why they're really nice. So they could play into points. However, they do lose to range, so you got to be careful. They're kind of beefy and tanky. I'm not an IPG main, but if you main IPGs, you could carry the game. But other than that, the next one we're going to talk about is the Yorks. IPGs also kill Yorks if you do it correctly. If you don't, then Yorks could kill IPGs from the backside on flank. But anyways, the next one we're going to talk about is the Yorks. Now, I know that I said that Yorks was going to be nerfed, and they did get nerfed. They lost their speed multiplier, so they don't do as much damage. They don't break block as they used to. So if you slam him into shields, the Yorks is going to get stalled out at the shields. You don't want to slam into shields. You slam into stalwarts, your Yorks will die. You slam into Berserkers, your Yorks would die. So the only way for you to really play Yorks is you have to hit a massive flank. Anytime you see Kriegsrats or any unit that is range, and you'll see me, I'll do it in my rank game. I'll try to get that footage and put it in. But you want to suicide these Yorks into the biggest range blob that you could find, and then you could get a high value. Playing Yorks to slam into Lion's Roar when Gold Law comes in is probably my favorite way to kill Lion's Roar. But they're gonna get protected by Modal, so you have to really pick them off when they're overextended, yeah. But Yorks is still, I think Yorks is still nice to play. Just don't suicide them. Now you have to have a brain to actually play Yorks. They still do a lot of damage. You gotta make sure you flank correctly. Don't just slam Yorks. Back then you could just slam it and it'll be okay, but you have to slam correctly now. Always hit the flank. Always hit the flank. Now York's ability is their Grand Descent. If you want to weave in Grand Descent, which is they dismount. When they kill units, they would get a stack, right? And when you dismount, the damage would increase that dismount damage and that knockback and the stun, whatever, right? So when you play Yorks, you want to hit the flank, and then once you generate the damage stacks from killing enemy mobs, you want to go ahead and slam. So if you slam into Pikes, which is risky, you could still do it, especially when you go top tree with Bond of Blood. You could use them on the floor side to hit. They're good anti-infantry if you play them correctly too, but you have to do it correctly. Because once they're on the floor and you use Bond of Blood, their HP is linked together, and if you lifesteal or use Combat Doctrine, they should sustain a little bit, which makes them a little bit more beefy. You can hit the flank with that. You could try to duel some units, but they'll lose still to Claymores and stuff like that. As a York player, never slam into Claymores, they'll rock your shit. Never slam into Berserkers, they'll rock your shit, and be careful when you slam into IPGs. But other units, because let's be honest, in Siege, there's people who don't watch videos like this. They don't watch meta lists like this, right? Or you already have an edge watching my videos, right? You'll slam into units that are like gray, blues, and stuff like that, and you should be able to win against them. The best thing about these Yorks is you could corral them and kind of just move them. Now, in this example, you see me in the trials here. The trials, they don't really have good doctrines and they don't really brace correctly, so it's not a 1-for-1 translation. But they do hit shields and stuff, but if they're bunched up, they're gonna body block all your Yorks. You don't want to do that. They hit hard. They hit hard. I like them. They're not bad. As always, never slam them into stalwarts, and always slam the backline. Always try to hit a flank. If you do want to go into stalwarts, let's say it's a critical moment and your team has to try to take point, try to slam. Like, you'll be the first to slam, take that slam. If you have a team with 3 Yorks, slam together. Now, that is Yorks, and we're going to continue. We're going to go with the off-meta units that I'm not going to go a deep dive into, and they're going to be the Galahads. Galahads because they break shields, the Kriegsrats because they can hit the back line, and Zealots because they can make plays. Zealots is one of the best playmakers because everybody brings shield units. I mean, everybody, right? Zealots, they they eat spear sergeants for breakfast. People who play spear sergeants, they're useless. If I'm being honest, they're useless unless they're a longsword player who can play objectives. Zealots, they eat stalwarts. They eat the iron cap, you know, the big shield units. The spear sergeants, anybody who's shield, you could go and take point, but you have to move with a team. If you're not moving with a team, your zealots will get picked off before you transform. The next one is going to be halberd elites because they have armor pen. They're really good. They could kill berserkers and they could go ahead and help out your team by just hitting the 1-2 ability. The final off meta unit that I would recommend bringing in is the Imperial Jabs because they're knockback, right? And you could also aim with your 4 ability, which is you could hero snipe because some heroes, they kind of just stand. You get your 1 for dishing out damage to make them weaker to let your team pick them off. You get hit 2 to aim for the range, which is in a bag because they'll lob it over. And then their 3 ability, if you're getting charged by a cav, because you'll send your shields out, which applies knockback, which should stop calves, and you could just AoE it down. That is all my recommendations for the current meta. So if you're coming back, these are the units that you want to use currently, and I will update this once the new patch comes out or gold lock comes out. I hope you guys enjoyed this portion of this video. I'm sorry for being AFK for the past, Sunday, Monday, and you're gonna see this on Tuesday. So I'm sorry that this is late. And on Saturday, if you guys celebrated 4th of July, I hope you guys had a great 4th of July, and I hope nothing bad happened. If you do enjoy this video, be sure to leave some comments in the section if I missed anything. Press that like button if you liked the video, hit subscribe so you can push my videos in your algos and have it recommended to you in the future. And other than that, that is it for today. So I will see you guys in the future. And before I leave, as always, mouth is wet. Goodbye.